guys, welcome back to another video. Woo! We are more than halfway there. We only got a couple more songs left for The Color Purple. What a series. I love this music and I hope you learn a little bit more about it, and I hope you go watch the movie. I'm sure it's streaming at this point, but yeah, we have the iconic What About Love, the duet between Suge and Ciara. Okay, this song is just so beautiful. Like, it sounds different than any other song in the show, and it's just this, like, we're gonna get into it, but it's this like ballad. Let me try to connect to what has happened prior to this. So Suge and Ciara really hit it off. Like, Suge, even though it's a really weird relationship because she's with Ciara's husband, she just kind of starts to empower her in a way where she's like, you don't have to like put up with him, and you know, you're beautiful, you know that, right? Like, she's the first person to tell her that. And then we have the iconic, like, The Color Purple scene in the flowers. I don't want to spoil everything, but yeah. And Ciara is just at a point where this is the first person who's really showing her love besides her sister, right? And I think they go to the movies and they're watching something. I can't even remember what they're watching, but they're watching like some story. And remember, earlier in the movie, the 2023 version, some of the songs are in her mind, like the song She Be Mine. Remember, it's in her mind. She's imagining her kid will be with her, you know, so we go into this fantasy land. So she's been doing this since she was younger, and her feelings towards Suge start to become romantic, and Suge's feelings are reciprocated. So in her mind, she goes into this fantasy land that she's in the movie, and she's in this movie, this love story between her and Suge. So this is kind of the only time where it's obvious that she's a queer person. And let's just start the song. Let's go.
Is that me who's floating away?
I'm going to stop right there. We're going to get to the lyrics in a second, but let's appreciate the instrumentation, okay? Nothing is better than an orchestra sound. And this, like I said, it's totally different from the blues, from the jazz that we've been hearing up to this point. This is like a very beautiful melodic song. And let's just hear some of those instrumentations. We have some strings, and then we have the flute playing really low. Those ding 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 are the percussionist, whoever's playing that. Let's go. I was a percussionist. The glockenspiel is what I'm hearing, and the is probably a French horn or a horn, but covered. There's this like muffle thing that they do that gives it that, like, it's still like passionate, but it's also like a little bit held back because they can't be loud right now. They're not blurring. It's just very like slow underscore, but very flowy, and like you wouldn't even have to hear the lyrics to know that, okay, we're in like a romantic kind of realm, but it's also this dreamy realm, almost Disney-like. Piano comes in. We got some harp. We have the little wind chimes. Do you see what I just did there? Like, my body floats with the music. Okay, so let's get to the lyrics of what she's saying. Is that me? Floating. Let me make sure I have the Celie says, "Is that me who's floating away? Lifted up to the clouds by your kiss. Never felt nothing like this." It's like I'm being lifted up and the music is lifting with it. And that question, is that me? Like, this is the first time she's like, you know what? Like, that's me. And because she's looking at herself, she's in her mind. And she's like, is that me, like, in a fantasy land that's happier than this abusive world that I'm living in right now?
Lifted up to the clouds by your kiss. Never felt nothing like this.
Fantasia on the mic, and then we have Taraji singing the other part.
Will you be my light in the storm? Will I see a new world in your eyes?
Here comes harmonies.
With you my whole spirit rise.
Now you're thinking, okay, we get it. Celie has been in a terrible situation at this point. Like, this kind of makes sense, that she's finally, like, she's happier and all this. But let's look at Suge's point of view. Suge has everything, right? She has this freedom. She can do whatever she wants. She can get any man she wants. But every man, I feel like, in the movie and up to this point has only appreciated her voice, has only appreciated her sexually. But who really gets to know Suge, Like, we watch Suge and Celie bond in a way that's, like, deep. They speak to each other. They have connection, And as much as Suge seems like she has everything that she needs in her life and she can do whatever she wants, everyone's looking for genuine connection. And that's what this song is. And that's what I feel like Suge gets out of this, is like, whoa, this is genuine connection. What I love, and it's so subtle, is that the tail end of that phrase, the music goes, boo, the fall, it like finishes it. So it could just stay there, but it does that little fall, and like that just makes it more like emotional and more yearning like.
With you my whole spirit rise. And what about hope?
And the instrument used, I feel like it's an oboe. I always think it's an oboe, and it's usually a clarinet. I'm sorry to those who play one or the other, but like, clarinets are common and then oboes are like special. And anytime I hear that type of oboe sound, it just always sounds so special. But that might have been a clarinet, who knows. And then we go into our What About Hope, What About Joy, and it really sounds like a rumba. I don't know if you've seen a rumba, but it's like one of those things where it just makes your hips want to move, because it's like one of those slow dances, but very like, it makes me want to.
And what about hope? What about hope? And what about joy? What about joy? What about tears when I'm happy? What about weeks when I fall? I want you to be a story for me that I can believe in forever. And what about love? What about love?
Okay. So before we get to the instrumentation, let's talk about the lyrics. What about tears when I'm happy. They could have they could have sang in unison, but instead we're like, what are they gonna do? We get the jumps, boom, 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 and it doesn't like go bah, it just like stays in that beautiful pocket, and they go straight into harmony, which is so beautiful. It's like, it's just very delicate. It's the most delicate way that we have heard someone sing so far in this score. So it's like, even though, spoiler alert, they don't end up together, it's a moment where it's the moment where Celie believes that she can be treated well. It's the moment where she believes that she's worth better than how the men in her life have been treating her. Yes, we see that moment with Sophia, right? It's a very jarring moment with Sophia and Hell No, because she sees like, whoa, this woman, is sticking up for herself, but she's never participating in it. She's never like, you know what? You're right. It's always like, whoa, this chick is crazy. But osmosis, it goes into her head and she like realizes something, but it's not until Suge comes that really changes her perspective. And it's like, you know what? I don't have to put up with this. So I want you to be that story for me that I can believe in forever. So even though they don't end up together, they're both seeing, like I said, true connection. Now let's get to the instrumentation, because y'all poppin'. All right, there's always stuff going on under the sea. That's what I say, like under the underscore. I was in band for 10 years and I was a percussionist, so I was in the back of every single band I've ever been in, which means that I kind of had the best seat in the house. Like I could see everyone and I could hear each part, and then obviously in practice you hear every part practice, but I was always able to take in everything because I was just like, I just had the best seat. So I always have an appreciation for orchestras and strings and yeah. But listen to this, bro. So whatever. The strings come in. Chill. A little higher.
What about tears when I'm happy? What about wings when I fall?
So they have their own moment. So we get, what about wings when I fall? And then the music goes, ba-da-da-dum. So they have a little bit of call and response. So who orchestrated this? But yeah, there's always a musical language being spoken. So respect. Oh, that's a beautiful flurry. That's so like Alan Menken Disney feel. All right, let's finish. Now they just start riffing off of each other. And again, shout out to Taraji P. Henson. This is the first time she sung on camera, okay? And she really did her thing.
What about love? You and me.
Offbeat.
You and me.
So, yeah, this is just such an earworm. It's such an earworm. I love hearing it. Again, the orchestra, the melodies, they soar. Bravo to the writers on this. All right, that's What About Love. Peace, blessings, love you guys, and I'll see y'all soon. Please like and subscribe. It is totally free. If you subscribe, I can get some money. Let's be a family. Guys, my jaw's still on the floor. Okay, did some research. The original orchestrator for The Color Purple is Jonathan Tunick. He has orchestrated so many shows that I love. Oh my gosh. He's the original GOAT. And wow. I know he probably didn't do the movie, but just the inspiration, you know? He's the original orchestrator. I just had to shout out him. He's 87. He's iconic. He's amazing. He's so talented. He's done so many shows that I love. Wow. I did not know Jonathan Tunick orchestrated The Color Purple. Anyway, okay, bye.